what's happening. So anyway, this video is about, well, basically bunch of mumbo jumbo about computer parts. Gonna mostly talk about computer components and try to build a new PC. So essentially what you need in order to build a PC, pretty simple, kind of expensive but simple. You need a case, a motherboard, some system memory, otherwise known as a RAM. Storage, this is where all the video files will go. A GPU, which stands for Central Processing Unit. A dedicated GPU cooler. Now if you did not install this thing, then you could potentially make breakfast on the faceplate here. Fry a couple of eggs, for example. A graphics card, otherwise known as a GPU with a G. I think that's about it. Motherboard, GPU, CPU, RAM, SSD, cooler, case. Oh, and a PSU, a power supply unit. I think that's it. Additionally, I also got this thing, which is a UPS, which stands for Universal Power Supply. I figured this is probably a must, considering the power fluctuation I have in the farm here. This thing will smooth out the power somewhat, and in case of a power outage, it will keep the computer running for maybe like 5 to 10 minutes. So I would have enough time to save my work and turn off the system. Actually, not long ago, I did upgrade my old computer, this thingy here. I put a new GPU in there and a new graphics card. Now I did this because well, the old GPU I had, which is a i5 6500. So this one is from, I didn't even know, 2016 or something. This thing could barely handle 1080p editing. Occasionally it would just totally lag out, and it was always working at 100%. So I decided to just get the most beefiest GPU I can get for this motherboard without changing the motherboard. Can't remember exactly what I got, but you know what, guys, I'm gonna just kind of warp you guys into the screen. Maybe you will see better. Don't mind that, guys. I'm just a huge Cyberpunk fan. Love that game. But anyway, I decided to upgrade to a i7 7700K. This thing was the most powerful GPU that I could install on the current motherboard, which is from the year 2018. So the motherboard itself is already 6 years old by now. Wow. System memory 16 gigabytes, which is more than enough for video editing. Graphics card is... So I'm gonna reuse this card for the new system. This one is actually more than good enough for video editing, but not so much for gaming on maximum settings. Yeah, guys, I do like playing games. Not even gonna try to hide that. Whenever I have some free time, I just like to jump on the Steam and pull up whatever I'm currently in the mood to play. But anyway, the GPU I got for the old system, it did the trick. 1080p editing was no longer an issue. It could manage it without any lag. I can even do a quick test for you guys. Pull up a file. What can we find? Something that you guys already seen. Well, you already have seen this thing. Playback is solid. No lag, no issues. So shiny. Yeah, bro, we know it's shiny. Now get bent. I can jump around the timeline with little to no lag. Solid playback. 7700K can handle 1080p like a charm. But let's just do a quick 4K test while we're at it. Do you need to compare the two? Need something that has a 4K file. Something here maybe. This one. Well, it's 4K but 30 FPS. Those are rookie numbers. Gotta pump them up. Oh, there we go, 50 FPS. Well, 50 is basically 60. It's a European thing. Just ignore that. Man, just look at that. Thing is lagging like a grandpa. Even if I set the preview graphics to potato mode, it's still pulling only like 5 frames per second. Completely unbearable. This thing cannot handle 4K. I mean, GPU at 100%, totally maxed out. Can't handle it. It's like trying to play Crysis on a Nokia 3310. It's just not gonna happen. The new GPU that I got though, this one here, it should be about 50% faster or 80. I don't really know what numbers to trust here, but it should be able to handle 4K. You know, occasionally when I'm doing video editing on the other screen, I usually love to play some games that don't really require a lot of attention. The dude will do its own thing there, and in the meantime I can edit videos, do what. But sadly I can't even do 1080p while that dude is having a time of his life. Supreme boxing tournament. For example, like here, I gotta set the graphics on the game to complete poop mode. Man, look at this. This is supposed to be grass. It's just plain color. It's so ugly. Hurts my eyes. This is much better, but playing at 10 FPS, it's not an option I would choose. So I'm hoping to resolve all those problems with this new setup. Now guys, when buying PC parts, I would actually recommend to buy used parts. These things rarely fail. Personally, I've had only issues with one specific part. I think some of you might even guess that part. Graphics cards, guys. These things will be the first thing to fail in any system. Throughout the years, I've owned a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 graphics cards. The first one I ever got was, by the way, all the cards I've owned, the manufacturer is NVIDIA. Hopefully I wrote that correctly. I did. But anyway, the first card I ever owned, 9600 GT. Can't remember the year, but still have that one. Actually, this card is inside Supermom's PC. So this one is still running and okay. The second card I owned was 450 GTS. I bought it brand new. It was total BS. Sold after like 2 weeks of use. Then I bought a 460. A really good card. But it failed. Then I bought another, which also failed. Then we moved on to 560. Failed. Still have that card, by the way. 560 Di. Can't remember what the problem was. Maybe we'll try to fix it in this video, we'll see. Beyond that, I went full bank mode. I got the 780 GTX. At the time of its release, this thing was priced at roughly like $700. And guess what? Failed. But it did run for several years. I was so impressed by the performance of that thing that I got another one, which kinda failed also after some years. Then I got what? Oh yeah, that thing, surprisingly. Kurat, küll mu varvad peaaegu läksid pooleks. Surprisingly, the thing still works. I have it in the other computer though. I don't do any video editing on this thing. It's, man, what? Really? This thing has a CD-ROM? What year is this from? Actually, I just mostly use it to watch movies on the big screen there. So this thing is still okay. Yippee. The next one I got was 3080 Ti. Actually, I have another PC not located here. I don't do any video editing on that computer. I just kind of play games on that one. And it's okay. And the third one, which I have here, is the 360 Ti, which is also okay. Now the new 780s. Man, I still have them. They're just so cool looking cards, and you can't throw them away. And look at that. Just so adorable. So graphics cards, 10 of them. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 failed units. GPUs though, I've had a total of 5, I think. So I had this one, then I got that one. I think I still have this one at the other PC there, which I just showed you. So this is like from 2008. Still use it today. What? But it's enough to watch some movies and stuff. Then I had this thing. Currently have this thing. Now I bought that thing and the i5 1150, I think, on the other PC. None of these parts had failed. So this one still working, worked last time I used it, still working, and still in its natural habitat. Not a single GPU has failed on me. Same deal for RAM. Never had any problems with that. Also motherboards. Not a single problem ever with a motherboard. Hard disk drives and solid state drives. 0 failures. One of my hard disks, it did make a bunch of rock crusher sounds, but it still worked. PCUs. I've had a total of 3, which one did actually fail. But it failed in a way that it did not cause any other damage to the overall system. It failed independently, which is very good. Had a bunch of cases over the years, but these things can't really fail unless you drive over the thing with a dozer or something. And that's about it, guys. Most of the parts in a computer, they rarely fail. Except the stupid graphics cards. And what happens to them is pretty simple. It's like 80 or 90% of the time the failure point is the same reason. So graphics cards overall, they do a lot of work. They do it really fast, sometimes with a bunch of errors, but they are programmed to ignore those errors and just kind of continue working. But the thing that fails on them are the solder points. Just really tiny solder points. Very microscopical cracks occur in those solders. Now you can't see those cracks with the naked eye. They're just invisible. But the cracks, they are big enough so there would be some interruption between 2 different components. Not all the information is getting through. The thing will just start glitching out. Either draw a bunch of artifacts on your screen or completely just crash the computer. Prove me wrong, but I think that's like 80 to 90% the reason these things fail. Luckily though, there is a small cure that you can even try at home. So what can you do while you guys are wondering? It's pretty simple actually. You just need to remove all the plastic parts from the board. Bunch of screws here and there. Remove all the screws. Take the cooler off. There is a GPU there somewhere. Right there. Make sure you clear the base of it. And then try to cook the board. Just throw it in an oven. If I recall, it was 210 or 20 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Now that's not enough to melt the solder on the board, but it may be enough to just fill those tiny cracks if there are any. And actually I did just do that with this graphics card. Can't remember what I did to this one. And also this graphics card. So I've cooked these 2 actually several times. So this one failed, started artifacting up. I threw it in the oven. Thing worked flawlessly for 3 more years. Just 10 minutes of cooking extended its lifespan for 3 years. And then something happened to it. It's kind of interesting glitch. I'm gonna talk about that later. Same deal with this thing. It just started artifacting up. I cooked it, which fixed the problem. 8 months later, same problem. Cooked it again, fixed it again. Think it ran for a year, maybe a year and a half, and then same issue again. It just started to artifact all over the place. Now I haven't cooked this thing for the 3rd time, but we're gonna try to cook it again in this video. Maybe we'll get this thing working and I can keep it like a backup graphics card. Although it's from the year 2018, if I
recall. I think it's still a very good graphics card. If not, then well, at least it's sexy as hell. I think that's enough of mumbo jumbo for now. Let's just start putting this build together. Start off with the case. I kind of like white cases. I don't know. Man. Lame. Wow. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fans already pre-installed. They should be all LED fans, so they should look like Christmas once fully assembled. Christmas is good. No idea what that crap is. Speakers. But anyway, the first thing obviously that goes into the case is the motherboard. And these days it's really complicated to get a motherboard. There's just so many of them, really impossible to choose from. I just went with something that I'm familiar with. Bunch of stickers, man. I can glue these to my Bobcat. So in addition to the motherboard, we also got a SATA cable and nothing. Dude, I have no idea. Oh, maybe it's that Wi-Fi thing. Yeah. Apparently today's motherboards have Wi-Fi built in. Oh, by the way, whenever dealing with parts like this, which involve highly sensitive circuit boards and whatnot, try to find something metal before you touch that thing. Just try to discharge yourself of any static electricity. These things are very sensitive to that stuff, so personally, I have never killed a component with static stuff, but I've heard that other people have, so. Just try to align up the screw holes and then just screw the thing down. By the way, don't use an impact gun on these screws. I know it's tempting, but don't. No, I never really understood what types of screws you were supposed to use. There's so many different threads. They all just seem to work, I don't know. You know, as long as the thing is nicely stuck, should be good. But now that the motherboard has been nicely mounted, next up let's install the GPU. Such a tiny box. That thing says remove on it. I guess we're supposed to remove it. There should be a clip here that kind of pops out. I think this is just a cover for that thing. Pretty sure this thing should come off as well. Now to install the thing correctly, there should be some line in some corner, but I can't see anything. There is a line on the GPU corner, so like a really tiny arrow. There should be one on the motherboard as well. Unless I'm blind, I can't see it. And logically, the thing should go like this, so the arrow is there. But can you install it the wrong way? Kinda curious here. Oh yeah, you can't install it the wrong way. So there's these 4 plastic clips, and they will go into the clips there. Then do that thing and just press the thing down. Voila, GPU installed. Next up, we got to install the cooler, but you have to add some toothpaste. There are a couple of different ways to install this thing. Some people will just say that put a little point in the center and then install the cooler on top. What I like to do is just gonna cover the entire surface, because all that shiny metal there, that's actually the heatsink, and it should heat up pretty evenly, not only from the center. The paste is added in between that plate and the cooler's heatsink plate as like a, I don't know, efficiency type of deal. Without the paste, the GPU will overheat 100%. Next up, the GPU cooler would be the obvious choice. I'm kinda scared, maybe this is too big. Maybe it's not gonna fit there. This number clarifies what this cooler is capable of cooling. If I recall, that GPU is 125 watts. So this is like 2.5 times more capacity, which is a good thing, but I'm not sure if the thing will fit. Wow, man. This has to be the coolest cooler I've ever seen. You wanna come out of the box, man? Holy cow balls. Holy cow balls, I mean. Wow. This thing is huge. Kick ass. And we should have some type of backplate as well. Oh, there we go. Oh, man. Oh, okay. So Intel, AMD. We are the Intel part. I think this is the backplate, which goes on the back side of the motherboard. And these two should go on the cooler itself. Man, this thing is starting to piss me off. Don't forget to remove the label, man. I do hope it will fit. Man, can't install this thing in any smaller case, because you would not be able to close the side panel. You know, I may need to remove the cooler later. I do need to access those pins there, but maybe I can manage. Bro, this thing looks pretty dope. But anyway, next up, let's install that RAM there. By the way, RAM stands for Random Access Memory. And that's exactly what it does. It's system memory for applications and for software which need to access high-speed memory. So on this motherboard we have 1, 2, 3, 4 slots of 12-channel DDR5 memory, 32 gigs. Pretty standard these days, I guess. The first PC I ever had, that thing had 512 megabytes of RAM. And when I upgraded to 2 gigabytes, what a moment, man. I remember that day very well. I went to school and I was bragging to my classmates. What's up, you losers? I have 2 gigs of RAM. Sadly though, I was the only nerd in class. Some guys were like, the hell are you talking about, man? Where's your lunch money? Don't forget to pay your tax. True story, bro. Guess it goes this way. Man. New clearance. Well, actually, I think I should be fine by just using the secondary slots. If I recall, it shouldn't really matter. Click. Click. Yeah, if I need to remove the cooler later, I can use the first slots instead. But the thing should work also on the secondary slots. So a lot of people actually get this wrong, because this is a dual channel setup. You're not supposed to install the memories like next to each other. The memory sticks need to overlap the DIN slot. So if I install it there instead, then this thing should be in the secondary black DIN there, not next to each other. It would still work, but you would not get the full benefit of the dual channel memory setup. For example, in the old PC there, I have installed them incorrectly. But it still works, just it's a bit slower, that is all. Interesting. The recommended memory configuration is exactly how I did it. So not the black ones first, but the gray ones. How about that? Not a lot left to install. It's just a hard disk, power supply, and the graphics card, which is there, but I noticed this motherboard has a DisplayPort output and a HDMI output. So there's probably some integrated graphics in there, which basically means I don't need a graphics card. I should be able to start it up, install all the software, and if everything is finished, I can swap that card into this case. So that will be the last thing I will do. Let's install the SATA drive. Too bad there's only room for 2 drives. Actually, I need to install 3. So 2 drives from that case will also end up here. Betting I can fit it. Put it under a press or something. Wow, 10 years warranty? I don't believe that. That seems a bit excessive. Some type of motherboard adapter, but there's only 2 available pins in there. You know, I absolutely love these types of power supplies. If you guys are looking to buy a power supply, just make sure the thing has removable cables. I mean like this, it's just a bunch of slots. And the cables are... yeah, you're just gonna add whatever you need. Some power supplies just have a massive pile of cables that come out of it. And it's very likely that you don't need like 70% of them. And they take up a lot of room. But with this setup, you can just add whatever cables you need, and the ones that you don't need, you just don't add. My head already hurts. I'm gonna start off with things that I surely know. Like for example the motherboard connections, the GPU connections. Don't need that. Might need this. Oh yeah, what this crap is? More SATA. SATA PCI Express. So graphics card. GPU, graphics card. More graphics card. More graphics cards. A lot of graphics card connections. Motherboard first. You know, sometimes this connector goes down really hard. It's like you're gonna crack your motherboard broken. 6, 7, 8, 9.
Can't believe I actually loved putting these things together back when I was a nerd. Actually, I studied this crap at school. So I graduated as a IT specialist or something. There were a total of 46 of us, but only like 7 people graduated the class, including me. It was the most boring 3 years of my life. Actually, I tried to get a job in IT. Man, I tried for like half a year. Everyone wanted like 2 or 3 years of experience. How am I supposed to get experience if everyone wants experience? So I never got a single job offer in IT, and I went to that plywood veneer factory thing. I was basically like a doormat. My first ever pay was 500 euros. As of right now, I'm still working there. I kind of worked my way up from doormat to shift supervisor. And actually, I don't regret it. I don't think I would have loved doing this. This seems like a cobweb of disaster. By the way, while I was buying parts for this thing, I went to this computer store where this dude was working. I gave him the order, which parts I ordered, so he was supposed to just pick them up and hand them to me. He was just kind of walking around, dragging his feet. The guy did not seem to be very happy. Really glad I did not end up in that place.
So this motherboard has a 4-pin and a 6-pin GPU power supply.
But the power supply has both 6 pins. So we need to take one of these apart. Yeah, like that. And you just kind of don't use one side. Okay, that should be roughly it, but absolute ton of different connectors. Absolute ton of different blocks. Basically what we have here is just USB connectors. Well, actually everything up here. Plus the fans. Everything is just kind of tied together. I have a bunch of pins down there. I just kind of have to connect them all up. They're nicely all labeled, which is what probably the most hardest part is, connecting up the individual pins there, which are these, just kind of bunch of pins. So I'm gonna connect these up. Hopefully I won't mess up. Take it from there. Think we're about finished now. Looks pretty good. Yeah, still missing the graphics card, but I should be able to. Crap. Bummer. This GPU does not support graphics. That means I need a graphics card. You know what, let's see what this thing will do. You know, using a broken graphics card in a brand new system, probably not the best idea. There is a thing though, I'm not really sure. Do you remember when I said that one of these cards, it has an interesting glitch? So one of them is just artifacting.
Nothing serious, just a bunch of weird colors on the screen. But the other one, it does not show any artifacts. Rather, how to explain the situation? Okay, so whenever I install a new operating system on a computer, it kind of crashes either in the middle of the installation or after it sometime, and you cannot put the system up again. You have to reinstall the operating system, so it kind of breaks the operating system. The best part is that I'm not really sure which one of these cards did that. Kind of willing to bet my eggs on this one. I'm not really sure 100%. Well, to be honest, one way to find out. Let's go with this one. This is always the most exciting part. Will the thing even turn on? We got some lights there. That's always a good sign. Ooh. Will it boast though? We got a boast. GPU fan error. Well, the thing's definitely turning, so... I think I just kind of blocked it in the wrong hole. There is just so many holes there where to block fans in, and I just picked the wrong socket. Think that's not a big deal. Yep. I'm guessing this is the GPU fan, not the case fan. Check it out. We got green lines. Pretty sure that's not normal. Green lines, pink lines. This GPU is definitely busted. But I still have picture. You know what? Let's try to fix that graphics card. Maybe we can get rid of these stupid green lines. That would be amazing. Now, in order for this to work, you gotta remove all the parts which will kind of, well, melt in the oven. So mostly though, I think it's just remove the cooler and you're good to go. Also that to grab. Wow. What a mess. Make like 4 balls, standard foil. You wanna make sure there is an air gap between the oven plate and well, the circuit board. Now the thing is pretty much ready. Just preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius. Cook it for 8 to 10 minutes. Once you take it out, you need to let it cool down on its own. Don't put a 200-degree graphics card in your system. That is not a good idea. And then hope for the best. Keep your fingers crossed. It will either be A, fixed, working again, B, nothing, absolutely nothing, the same issues. Then you could try again with a bit longer bake time and maybe a bit more degrees as well. Or C, totally broken and doesn't work anymore at all. By the way, this method, it doesn't only work on graphics cards. It actually works on a lot of different electronics. Like for example, I used this method to fix my smartphone. I took that thing apart and only put the motherboard inside the oven. And that did the trick for about 3 months. Then it totally died. But worth a try. I don't know, man. Let's cook it from both sides. Let's make some pizza. GPU flavored. Time's up. Delicious cancer flavored pizza. You know, I figured while we're in the pizza making mood, let's cook the other two guards as well. Who knows, maybe one of them will get fixed. Better odds at least. Oh, wait a minute. Damn. I forgot to connect the cooler. Whoops. Man, guess it doesn't work anymore. Scheiße. Oh, never mind. I forgot to plug the HDMI in. Check it out, guys. No more green lines. No more pink lines. No more blue lines. Picture perfect. It appears the cooking method worked. Man, this is like the third time. Third time I've cooked that GPU. First attempt, every time. Works. But anyway, guys. Gonna need to install a bunch of software now. Once I got all that sorted out, we'll proceed to testing out the new system and see if this upgrade was worth it. Fingers crossed. Man, who even reads this crap? Instant accept. Blah blah blah. Be right back. You know, considering the fact that got that in working order first attempt, I'm kind of tempted to try these cards out. Most definitely gonna try this one later, but I'm too much of a chicken to try this one. Just kind of breaks your operating system. Something weird. Maybe you guys have some ideas. Personally though, I have never even heard of this type of a problem where you install a graphics card and the moment you start off the computer, your operating system is totally screwed. Can't run it anymore. My expert opinion would be that the GPU somehow corrupts Windows registry files. That would be my best guess. But I could definitely try this card, sort of a backup solution. Pretty much finished with the software side now. Man, that was so boring. Took forever. Final parts are in here, so I gotta move them from here to there. Just a graphics card and two hard disk drives. Guys, so this is a RTX 360 Ti. Wanna see something cool? The same, the same grade of a card, but 16 years apart. They kind of fall in the same level. The only difference is 16 years apart. Quite the size difference there. Couple of more fans as well. The thing is just so backed, the lid won't even stay closed. These days they're not really thinking about storage area. There is absolutely no room in them. Check out where my hard disk drives are. Piled in bunch of wiring. 1, 2, 3 hard disk drives in this mess. And this is not much better. There's only room for only 2 hard disk drives. Specifically, remember, old cases, old computer cases. Prove me wrong, but they had a ton of space for hard disk drives. I mean, even this old case here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 slots for hard disk drives. But these days, it's all about style. Style over substance. That's exactly what's going on these days. I'm more of this type of setup. Necessity over style. That's me. In about 20 years. I just got to change my skin color somehow. Even if I took the hard disk drives out, there's still no room. Guys, I think I'm finished. Gonna be honest with you. Building the PC was nothing, but getting everything back to work. Software side, I mean, it was a pure nightmare. But I think I sort of figured everything out. Let's just do a quick test. I wanna see how it performs. So this is the video for the log splitter. I'm pretty sure I have some 4K files there. Yep, 4K at 50. Dude, that's butter smooth. No more potato FPS, man. Wow, I'm about to cry. This is so good. Why do I have a dead hoe in the shop? Should have parked it outside somewhere. Yes, I should have. I don't even know what to call that thing. Basically, the issue is that I have a bunch of these. Okay, I don't care about your problems, man. What if I set the preview to the best? Best preview. Oh, we had a bit of lag there, but it's still butter smooth. Wonder what does that do? Performance. What the hell? Not even at 50, man. So much headroom. See guys, we have so much headroom here. Only using like half the computer right now. Well, okay guys. I guess we're gonna do 4K from now on. No more laggy lag. Yes. Break out the champagne, man. That's something we need to celebrate. But anyway guys, the new PC. Total beefcake. I love it. The 4K editing, super smooth now. Just what I wanted. Just exactly what I wanted. This thing will serve me for years. That is until it doesn't burn down or anything like that. Don't do that. But I'm just gonna get back to work now. So guys, I'm gonna end it on this note. Think that's about it. Don't think I have anything more to add. I mean, I still have the UPS to install, but this is relatively simple. One for input and bunch of outputs. Basically, like I said, this thing is like a giant car battery. It's really heavy. And it will keep the system running for about 10 minutes, maybe a bit more, if the power goes out. Backup solution. What is that? But gonna go now. Bye. Oh crap, I almost forgot. I promised to test these two out as well. If the barbecue, graphics card barbecue went successfully or not. That thing is still working. I hope.
Piss off! Yes, this is still working. Beautiful picture. No stupid green lines or anything like that. Let's do check it out if these two work as well. I'm not sure about that one there. So far so good. It's working. Picture has a very low resolution, but that's because the graphics card changed and the system doesn't recognize the new graphics card. Yeah, we don't have a driver for the graphics card. That's why the picture is kind of dwarf mode. But other than that, there's no visible artifacts on the screen. 2 out of 2, guys. Successful barbecue. This one though, don't want to risk it. You know, I don't really need this computer, but it's good to have a backup system, I guess. It already has all the software installed on it, so, and I don't really want to. We need a desk dummy. Super Mom's computer, guys. Dude, I can't even fit this thing here. One Molex, SATA. Never mind, I can't even power the thing. This one requires 2 double 8-pins. This one has 0. Doesn't have any power source for that thing. I mean, I can't even power this thing in Super Mom's computer. Oh well, whatever. Let's risk it. Dude, stop with that BS. Are you on crack or something? How can you not find the operating system? It's right over here. Okay, well, so far it's working. So far it seems to be working. With a nice image. Nothing's on fire yet. Where's the mice? Man, there is no network. Just go offline. Just go offline, man. I don't have network here. Duh. What do you mean? The game should be installed. Oh, there's nothing. Alright, I took the hard drive out. There's no games here anymore. Man. Hasn't crashed yet. You know what? I'm gonna go bake some pancakes, guys. If it doesn't crash by the time I'm finished, then I will consider this a win. So we revived 3 guards in this video. I will consider that as a win.